everyone. Welcome to the Creatives Tarot, the YouTube channel that helps you supercharge your creativity and pursue your passions. My name is Melissa, and I am super excited that you're here today. We are doing a creative pick a card tarot reading, which means you get to choose the pile that you are most drawn to today. We have 3 piles. We're going to look at a mid sort of month forecast, and we're going to reflect on what energies are going to be present from January 19th to January 31st. So let's get started. No more introductions. Let's go.
All right, so here are 3 piles. We have our first pile, pile number 1, with the amethyst crystal on top. The second pile, pile number 2, with the selenite. And the third pile, pile number 3, with the rose quartz. So I want you to take a deep breath, close your eyes, figure out which pile you're being drawn to, 1, 2, or 3. And you can jump to that section in the description below.
All right, if you chose group 1 with the amethyst stone, this is your reading. This is group 1's reading. The first few cards are going to be your central focus, where your energy is right now, where you're sort of grounded, what themes you'll see in the next basically 2 weeks. So let's look at the cards from the tarot. So we've got the sun here, and we've also got the 7 of Pentacles. Right? So sun is center of the universe, right? It's light, it's brightness, it's youth, it's vitality. So there's a lot of positive energy for you, group 1, happening right now. Feeling like you've gone through the darkness, you've gone through the night. It is morning, a new day has come, and you're really reveling in these new opportunities. Excuse me, you're really reveling in these new opportunities. There's youthfulness, there's passion, there's creativity, there's just energy and momentum surrounding you in the next 2 weeks. So definitely take advantage of that. And I see that manifesting in the 7 of Pentacles. The 7 of Pentacles is all about sort of continued discipline and craft and nurturing, you're tending your garden, you're watering the seeds, like all of these things that you've planted, all these things you've been working on for weeks, if not months, are starting to come to fruition. And this is all about continued progress, continue working them, tending that garden, showing up consistently. And yeah, you're going to have rewards. Like everything is ready. You're on the brink of being able to harvest those things that you've planted. So those are the themes that are surrounding you in the next 2 weeks. It's pretty optimistic and exciting. Let's look at other energies that are surrounding you. So these could be opportunities or challenges you may face. We've got the Fool. So new beginning. I don't know why I'm holding it that way. New beginning, right? You're starting something different, something new. And this may be a new role that you're taking on in life, on a new project, creatively. But you're doing something outside of your comfort zone. So it doesn't matter how old you are. It just means that you haven't done this particular project, task, activity, or work from this new position or this new role before. And there's some excitement again in that, and being new and being able to discover something different for once. You have strength in reverse. So this is telling me that like you definitely need to turn to strength and show strength in unconventional means. Strength isn't just brute force, right? But strength is having the courage to stand up. The strength is stepping outside of your comfort zone, doing something that aligns with your values, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when other people may not understand it. So there's definitely a calling or an opportunity here that is going to need you to focus on your strength, right? To stand up in a way that, again, feels uncomfortable. And with a new activity or project or role starting, like you're going to be feeling the waters, testing out the waters, and it's going to feel a little different. So you're going to need to draw on this in the next 2 weeks. We also have the Fool card, or not the Fool card, the Hanged Man card. Sorry, still thinking about that Fool. The Hanged Man card. I love this card because this speaks to not being a martyr, which is what a lot of people think about this card, but I like to think of this card as stillness. I like to think of this card as making peace with where you're at on your journey, being present in the moment, and being able to like have a different perspective, a fresher perspective that is really going to serve you. So any negative things that come up, or even the challenges, even the failures that you're going to face being in that new Fool role, you are going to make peace with that, because you understand that failure is part of the process and it's part of the journey. So these 2 weeks, like, just try and be present. Stop thinking and obsessing over the past. Stop thinking or worrying about what's in the future. Be present in the moment and make peace with where you are right now. And that's going to also carry you a long way. The last card that those were the 3 cards we had. So the Fool, the Hanged Man, and Strength. All right, so now we're going to do some messages from our Love Oracle cards. So let's see what came up here. So you got 4 cards from 2 different decks. So let's see, we'll just walk through these here. We've got Sweetheart, What a Catch, Camera, and Mask. Interesting. So let's start with the Sweetheart. So here's your Sweetheart card. Right? So for some of you, there's going to be some romance, some crushing, something that you're really intrigued by, someone in your life who's being really considerate to you. This says romance, infatuated. So infatuation, new crushes, wanting you back. So maybe an ex is coming back into the life. Somebody's courting and treating you well, saying they're sorry, right? So this is an old love or a new love, but somebody who is interested in you, right? Who's maybe flirty, who's maybe trying to break the ice, trying to get on your good side, trying to make headway, and you may not even be aware of this person yet. So just pay attention to that. And what a catch, right? Okay, so like this means that somebody in your life is a catch. This is somebody that is around you, is actually, maybe even your soulmate. This could be an ideal partner for you. They have an abundance, they have self-esteem, value. It says marriage material, right? So somebody's coming into your life or in your life right now in this romantic partner role that could be an ideal mate for you, and you should trust that instinct. Let's see what else. We have maybe some cautionary stuff because we have mask, right? So this says pay attention to the mask, right? Not showing your true feelings, hiding, personifying, pretending, diluting, and gaslighting. So watch out for anybody who relies upon those kinds of tricks and techniques in order, look at the light coming through, in order to build relationships. That's not healthy relationship. So if you're seeing a sign like that, this is not your what a catch, okay? So just be aware of that. Also, make sure you're not doing this to your partner, right? Don't rely on manipulation. Don't rely on hiding your feelings. Figure out how to let go, how to open yourself up. That'll be really important in any relationships. And then we have camera, reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learning from the past, and making new memories. So it says learning from the past, but I also want you to remember that this is about perception, and you had that Hanged Man. So this isn't about living from in the past, right? This is about learning from it, but not allowing it to keep you from everything that you want, from the miracles and the opportunities and the blessings that are surrounding you right now. So those are your love messages. And let's look lastly at the Oracle messages from the Moonology deck. Work through your fears, babe. So yeah, some of you, and some of this is with relationships, it's with intimacy, it's with getting close to people, it's with risking your heart. And that may be professional partnerships, it may be romantic relationships, but yes, embrace those fears, work through those fears, identify them. You have to acknowledge what they are first. That is the first step. So identify them if you haven't already, and then try to be aware of the patterns and triggers. What is it that sets those fears off, and how can you work through them? And then lastly, nothing will come of this situation. So this is the void of course moon. So make sure that if you're not addressing these things, like nothing's going to come of it. I feel like for some of you, there's a particular thing that you're hanging on to from the past. Maybe it's even a job, an opportunity, an idea. And this is maybe a sign that it's time to let it go. That like right now, nothing's going to come of that, and that's okay, but you can move on, you can move forward, you can step into those new projects without guilt or shame or frustration. So That's what I have for you today. I hope this reading was helpful. If so, let me know down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content. And I am available for booking. So if you want a more personalized read, sorry, the light is getting kind of crazy. If you want a more personalized read, feel free to click the link or go to thecreativetarot.com and you can book a reading through there. All right, take care. Okay, group 2. If you chose group 2 with the selenite, this is your reading. Let's go. Let's get into it. The first few cards are going to be general themes, core energies that are surrounding you right now. Where is your focus? Where are you centered and grounded at for the next 2 weeks? So let's see what came up in our tarot deck. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords in reverse for this group. Three of Swords in reverse. And we have the Two of Pentacles. So right away, I said like your focus or your desire right now is balance, like seeking balance, particularly work-life balance. I always think about, Pentacles are about money. They're about material possessions. And so often I think about career, like how do we make a living? How do we support ourselves? How do we provide for ourselves and build the, material things that we need in our life, whether that's food, shelter, money, right? All of that comes into the Pentacles deck. And in this case, this is really about feeling like you're juggling a lot of priorities and you're seeking balance. Balance between work and home life is the most common thing that I see, but it could be other competing priorities that are financial. Sorry, the lighting is getting really weird. I'm gonna have to go close the blinds. Let's see if we can here. I'll just move back. Yeah, it's morning. So the Two of Pentacles, that is about balance, work-life balance. And then we have the Three of Swords in reverse. So when you see this Three of Swords in reverse, Three of Swords is about heartache. It's about betrayal. It's about really, feeling like you've been stabbed through the heart, right? And what do I think about this card when it's in reverse? Usually that means that this is distant. It's off in the future. It's something that happened in the past that you haven't fully healed from. And now is an opportunity for you to get closure there. Now is an opportunity for you to get a different perspective, to step outside of this pain and this grief, or to revisit it without the pain and the grief, and really have a different take on exactly what happened. And that's part of the healing process. It's part of the letting go process. So for you, there is a sense of like there was a betrayal, there was a wrongdoing somewhere in your past, in relationships in particular, but that like you now have the opportunity to heal, to forgive, to let it go. So don't miss out on that opportunity in the next 2 weeks. Let's see if there's any other cards that come up that connect to that theme as well. So these next 3 cards are about challenges or opportunities that you may face. So we have the Emperor card, the Knight of Wands, and the Star, all right side up. Let's talk about this Star card, because I think the Star card is really about a light, your North Star, right? Your guiding light, wishing upon a star, like all of that comes up with this particular card. And so I would ask you to really identify, what do you want, right? What is your North Star? What is your guiding vision for your life? And it doesn't have to be forever, but like, do you have a guiding vision for this year, right? Do you have a word of the year? Do you have a path that you're searching for, a goal that you're reaching to, something that you want? You have to articulate what it is you want, so that you can use that as your star. So that's what I would say. If you haven't already done that for this year yet, take some time to do that, because once you do that, it's going to be a light that is going to guide you through the rest of the year. It's going to help you make choices, and it's going to help the universe send you resources that you need to be successful. And then the Knight of Wands, this is all about passion, right? And I think this is about energy, momentum, and movement, and embracing that without fear, like just diving into new projects, things that excite you. Don't question it, right? You don't have to be perfect. You just do it. You just experience it, and you're going to learn so much. So you have this opportunity. For some of you, this may feel different. It may feel a little wild, a little untamed, and that's okay. embrace it. You don't have to be perfect. There's nothing about perfection. This is just freedom of movement, of activity. And then you have the Emperor, right? And this was 2020. So I feel like for some of you, 2020 is still playing a big role on your life in this first few weeks of January, and it's going to continue. That's this Emperor energy. But Emperor energy is also about authority. It's about discipline, right? It's about consistency and following the rules. And some of you may have abandoned all your rules because, pandemic, we're living inside in quarantine, right? And so, I hear a lot of people who are like, I'm not wearing a bra, I'm not getting dressed, I shower a couple of times a week, or I never leave my apartment, right? And so there may be some sense of like, okay, you might need to actually establish a routine, and that might make you happy and healthier, at least for the next 2 weeks. So think about how you can borrow from that Emperor energy in a way that's not so restrictive that it gives you anxiety or that it's really squelching your creativity, but that you might actually get more productive if you have some guardrails. So yeah, those are the cards there and messages there from the tarot deck. And then let's look at love, love, relationships, and advice. Oh man, the sun is just all over the place today. Okay. So we have the axe, the palm tree, friendship, and the unsaid. Interesting. Okay, so like the axe speaks to breakup. So let's start there. Axe speaks to breakup, ending a relationship, severing ties, letting go of something. And you have that Three of Hearts too. So I feel like this may not be necessarily a new relationship, but it may be something that you've just been holding on to for so long around that breakup, around even breaking up with friends can be really, really difficult. And there's something there. And I just get this sense that like for you, you need to let go. You need to chop ties with that person. Maybe they're trying to come back in your life, and this is a sign that like, no, like you are better off without these people in your life, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean you have to feel bad about caring for them or loving them or the experiences that you had. It just means that you're putting yourself and your own health, physical, mental, emotional health and needs first, right? You are not allowing your desire to be in a relationship or guilt to keep you in a situation that is not healthy. So that's what I think about that. Yeah, and then I think this is emphasized with the palm tree because the palm tree speaks to stability, right? Consistency, growth, endurance, right? And palm trees are incredibly flexible. We're in a high wind advisory right now here in LA. And when you watch the wind blow these palm trees all over the place, I mean, they are incredibly flexible. So this is something that's really interesting because it speaks to security and stability and permanence, but also being able to bow and move and be flexible. And so just keep that in mind in your relationships this week is how can you stay true to your core values and your core beliefs and have a foundation that's strong in your relationships, but also allow that flexibility to happen when needed. The unsaid, right? I love you, the unsaid, the unspoken. Like, I don't have to say the words to show you, right? Actions speak louder than words. Showing you I love you, I like you, I care about you. Maybe they didn't say it yet. So there's for somebody in this group, there's new relationships or there's existing relationships, and you may be thinking, this person never says I love you. They don't need to say it, right? They're showing it to you every single day. Think about your love language. Are they showing it to you in your love language? And if you really need them to say it, then just tell them, folks. Just tell them you need them to say it. And then friendship. Yeah. Authenticity, friendship, true friends, partnerships, lasting friendships, right? So take care of those friendships, right? We often focus on romantic relationships and partnerships on our significant others, and we don't nurture our friendships as well as we should. So in the next 2 weeks, I want you to prioritize taking care of your friendships, having a conversation, doing a friendship date on Zoom, whatever you need to do, get a bottle of wine, do something fun with your friends, and make sure you know and they know that you are there for them. You're there to support them and care for them. All right, and lastly, we have messages from our oracle, our moon oracle. Yeah, balance spirituality and practicality. Okay, here we go. We have balance. There's some clarifying things for this Two of Pentacles. Spirituality is the thing that you're trying to balance with practicality. And this can be a really tough one. So think about your routines, think about your structures, right? Use this Emperor energy to think about routines and structures so that you can find more balance. And then, yeah, it's time to release negative energy, right? Release that negativity. You know what's negative? You know what's low vibe? This holding on to this heartache, holding on to resentments, not forgiving people, not letting go, staying stuck in the past, right? We are in a period of change right now. Embrace it, enjoy it. Let that be your present. Don't live in the past. All right, that was your reading group 2. I hope you found this helpful. If so, let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future content. That's it. Sign up for the newsletter. I give a free in-depth reading every single month to newsletter subscribers, so you don't want to miss out on that. The link is also in the description below. Take care. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the rose quartz, that's this one here, our little heart rose quartz. This is your group. This is your reading, and let's get in. We're going to look at information and energies that are surrounding us from January 19th through 31st, so the second half of January 2021. Okay, so let's look at the first cards, which are going to talk to us about our grounding energy, our focus, where our focus is right now. And we've got the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Wands in reverse. So here's our Ace of Cups. New. Aces always represent new opportunities, change, beginnings, fresh starts. Cups are all about relationships. They're about emotional. And when I think of cups, I always think about starting with yourself, right? Because any relationship that you have first starts with your own ability to love yourself, to know yourself, and to understand what you need out of a relationship. So I think that's part of it. And I also think that when I see this card, it means that there are going to be people coming into my life in different ways. It could be work life, it could be, personal, romantic, friendship. It could be a lot of different ways, but you're going to meet people. And, I think of meeting people who are kind of like part of your soul family. That's the word I will use. I don't want to say soulmate necessarily, but I think your soul family. These are people who just get it. You just connect with. You feel like when you sit down and you talk with them, you might have known them for years, right? And it's not just, oh, we share the same beliefs or we look alike, or it's like there's a real connection to like the energy that's around when you're chatting, when you feel like you can be your authentic self. When you feel a sense of trust, and you can sort of a sense of intimacy and vulnerability in the conversations, like all of those things, all of those yearnings, all of those desires to talk for hours when maybe you're only supposed to talk for 20 or 30 minutes. Those are your soul family people, right? They're your spirit family. They're connected to you in some way. And yeah, that's what the Ace of Cups to me represents, is meeting those people, those first beautiful conversations. And you're like, oh, yeah, we can be friends. So know that energy is around. And also like being friends with yourself, right? So if you're struggling with self-confidence, if you're struggling, with any kind of emotional things, you're just like beating yourself up, like try to figure out how to make peace with yourself, how to forgive yourself, how to not live in a space that is really overly critical. And I say that because we also have the Ten of Wands, right? And the Ten of Wands speaks to burdens, feeling overworked. Look at all of these wands this poor woman is carrying. You do not have to carry all these wands. I know tens represent completion. You are returning home. You have done the tasks that you set out to do, but this is not healthy, friend, right? Look at her hunched back. Like, this is not healthy. Just because you were successful doesn't mean you were successful. Take care of your health, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health. Ask for help. Don't carry all the burdens on your own. You do not have to do that in this day and age. We are here to support each other, right? And so maybe somebody new is going to come into your life. And if you let them, they can be somebody who can carry some of these burdens. Let's see. Let's look into some of these other cards here and see what other energy is surrounding you, opportunities. Yeah, Ace of Swords, Knight of Cups, and Page of Pentacles. Look at all these court cards. Page of Pentacles, grounding, how you make a living, what you do in terms of career, in terms of bringing money and material objects into your life. This page comes up when it's time to ground yourself and what's really important, what really matters. And I think when you're talking about burdens and priorities and work, for some of you, you're really, nose to the grindstone, working 100%, 60 hours, 80 hours a week. You're just constantly going. You're not getting any sleep. This says, look at this. Is it working? That's what this card tells me. Is it really working? Is there a smarter way to work that is going to get you the same results? Is it worth the sacrifices that you're making? Just take a moment to pause and really look critically at what you're doing and make sure you have the foundation to stand on when you're thinking about your career and your passions. And then you've got the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Swords. So let's talk about Ace of Swords, because Ace of Swords to me represent new ideas, new ways of thinking, new projects, or passions. Like things are coming, like you're learning new information. Your mind is open to receiving new things. There may be new truths that are coming towards you. And, I encourage you to make space for that. It's really hard to do that if you haven't done this work, right? If you're not grounding yourself and giving yourself space for these new ideas to develop, and knowing these new ideas, these new ways of thinking, these new mindsets, they're going to empower you. They're going to make you more successful in your career, in your family life, or help you find balance. So make sure you're prioritizing these two things, giving yourself space so that you can have new ideas coming in the next 2 weeks. And then you've got the Knight of Cups. And this tells me that you need a date night. Like you need a little bit of romance. You need a little bit of wooing. Knights of Cups are not serious soulmate contenders necessarily, but this is the energy of infatuation, of lust, of excitement. It's the ups and downs. They're not really dependable, but hey, for 2 weeks, this is like the hookup card. So like what I think. It's like, it's okay to go on a date, and like you can go on a date with somebody who's not your soulmate. That is okay, right? It's okay to flirt with somebody. It's okay to sign up for an online dating subscription and meet someone and have a nice conversation, or a virtual date. That is perfectly fine. Do a date night. You can do a date night at home, right? It's okay to splurge and spend that money on a babysitter for your kids if you need to, somebody in your bubble. That is fine. But there's definitely a sense here that you need to prioritize having a little bit of romance and celebrating and taking care of yourself. And I don't care if this is a date with yourself, right? I do that all of the time, right? Make it special, get dressed up, do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do, and enjoy it. Celebrate that, give yourself that space. I also think about artist dates here. So an artist date is something that another creative, I'll put the name in the description because I can't remember. It's The Artist's Way, sorry. Julia Cameron, maybe, is the author of that. But The Artist's Way, she talks about this idea of doing artist dates, which is basically you by yourself going out and doing something artistic that is going to inspire you to be creative, right? And it's usually something that's not in your current discipline. So it's going to a museum, going to see an art house film, taking a photography class, but it's something that is going to get your creative juices flowing in a different way. And that's going to give you inspiration for the thing that you're working on. It's going to revive you. So think about doing artist dates too, if that's something, if you're feeling like you're in a little bit of a creative rut. Sometimes you got to take your artist and your muse out on a date. So there you go. Let's get into more relationship cards and see what you got. So we've got karmic relationships, heartbroken, coffee cup, which are meetings, conversations, etc. And we've got girl talk. So yeah, for you all in group 3, what I'm getting the sense of is that you've let go of a relationship recently with this karmic relationship. There's somebody coming into your life. You may have thought they were a soulmate. They may feel like that twin flame energy. The interesting thing here is that these karmic relationships or karmic cycles are things that are not necessarily healthy, right? They're comfortable because they're familiar, but they're not necessarily healthy for us. And they keep repeating over and over until we learn the lesson. Like we have to learn the lesson in order for them to stop happening to us. So if you're thinking like, I have a track record of bad relationships, or I'm always choosing the wrong people, or I'm always getting like, look for the patterns and look for the patterns in your actions, in your choices, because there's a lesson that you haven't learned yet, that maybe you've been too afraid to follow through with, that keeps you in this karmic cycle. So watch out for those relationships or those types of relationships that keep repeating themselves. And I feel like they just lead to heartache, right? They just leave you heartbroken, deeply hurt, not like just a kind of like, I'm ready to bounce back, or I didn't really care, because you feel invested, you feel a connection, but know that that connection is sometimes because it's so familiar, right? And you're mistaking that familiarity with soulmate energy, and that's not the same thing. Um, yeah, and we've got girl talk. So to me, and the coffee cup, to me, this means that like you need to have conversations with people you can trust. So have conversations with your closer friends, have conversations with a therapist if you need to, but you need to talk through it, and you need an outside perspective to help you see and pick up on these karmic relationships. But once you figure out the pattern, once you figure out the lesson, it's going to be easier. You're going to minimize the heartbreak, because it's going to be easier for you to identify those folks on the front end early on in relationships, and to move away from that, to distance yourself from those kinds of relationships and make space for really healthy relationships. So yeah, that's your love forecast for the next 2 weeks. And then let's look at your moon oracle guidance. So yeah, bring love into the situation, right? And so this makes me think, for some of you, this card means that you need to have compassion and love for yourself. You need to stand up for yourself, right? It's not about forgiving everybody else who's abused you and walked all over you and treated you badly. This is about learning to have compassion and courage for yourself and stand up for yourself. And when you do that, when you look at the situation with distance and with empathy for yourself, you'll be able to heal. So yeah, bring love into the situation, and that is going to help you navigate and have these really tough conversations, and have faith in your dreams. It's not all lost, right? Like, not everybody is awful and horrible. There are great opportunities, great blessings ahead, great relationships ahead in your future, but you have to do the shadow work. You have to do the karmic work and the healing. Like, and you can't get there without going through the valley first. And for some of you, I feel like you're afraid to walk through that valley. It's okay, right? It's okay. You're going to be okay. Your friends are going to get you through it. So that was your reading. I hope that was helpful. That's for the next 2 weeks. If it resonated with you, leave a comment below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future videos. I'm really hoping to grow the channel and hit a new benchmark. So please feel free to refer this to any friends that you have that you think would be interested in the kinds of content that we talk about here at the Creatives Tarot. Also, I am open for booking. So if you want an in-depth reading, you can definitely book a reading. I have a variety of different packages from $15 and on up. So all budgets, hopefully you can find something that works for you. It's thecreativestarot.com. And if you sign up for the newsletter, I do a free in-depth reading for one of my newsletter subscribers every single month. The drawing is at the end of the month, so you still have time to sign up and get into the drawing. And yeah, that's a free $100 value tarot reading. It's a 45-minute one-on-one reading, so you get to ask me questions as I'm doing the reading. And yeah, if you can't afford to do a personal tarot reading with me, I totally understand. And this is my way of giving back. So, yes, please subscribe to the newsletter. The link is always in the description below, and that will get you automatically entered into the monthly drawing for a in-depth tarot read. And if you win and you don't want it, you can always gift it to someone else, which I also love. So, there you go. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Take care, everyone.